Would you like to experience more joy in your life? Who wouldn't, right? Who wouldn't? So we're going to talk about that today. That's the topic of the video. But before we get into how to cultivate more joy in your life, let's talk about joy versus happiness. Because happiness often gets confused with joy. But there's a difference. There's a difference. Happiness is dependent on the external world, on the 3D world, largely on the state of your life, on something that happened, some stimulation, something fun, some activity, whatever, relationships. But it's external to you, and that resorts into you feeling happy. Now, joy, on the other hand, pure joy that we're talking about today, happens from inside out. It has nothing to do with the external world. Nothing to do with the external world. It's true that when you feel real true joy, you will also feel happy. But that's different than the happiness we talked about. Because happiness can happen in the past or the future, as well as the present, just by thinking about something that you're going to do or you did, and that brings happiness. Whereas joy exists now, only in the moment present, only in the present. And it's more sustained when you begin to learn to cultivate that joy inside. It's a different sense. It's not exuberant. It's just simply a wonderful, deep, peaceful feeling, inner feeling of aliveness, inner feeling of connection to God's source, to the force. Your heart smiles. I find my heart smiling sometimes during the day for no real reason. No real reason, just because my heart lights up and I feel that full of joy. So, how do you go about creating this? Well, the basic principle is that you start inside. Anais Nin, a famous French philosopher from back in the early 20th century, said, "You don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are." And that's what we're talking about. As you begin to create a deeper sense of joy inside yourself, the world you see out here looks different, feels different, responds differently. Everything is different. You know? Now, cultivating joy is an inner journey. It's an inner journey of connecting to Source. Meditation can help. Meditation can help. But that's not really the only thing. There's no one way. But you have to find the way that works for you. It's peace with yourself and peace with everything around you. Now that sounds external, but it's really about allowing yourself to be at peace with everything in your life. To be in this wonderful place of sort of a neutrality about whatever happens, and at the same time accepting, loving, and being in divine loving allowance for everything that goes on in your life, everything that you feel, everything that happens. It's realizing that you are supported. You are supported even in your darkest moments. You are supported by Source. God's Source is always there with you. Understanding that and knowing that can help you even in those dark moments, feel less depressed, to feel joy, to feel a connection. And that brings on joy. That's all part of it. Joy is about choosing to look at life through your heart mind rather than little mind. Because little mind looks at the external world, creates happiness or sadness or whatever. Your heart mind is your divine self, your divine spirit. Your heart mind is connecting you to the universe, to source, to life, to love. It's embracing oneness. That's another key to creating joy in your life. To embrace oneness. Oneness with all. Now, as I say that, tune into yourself. Because that's an easy word to say. And I find that for most people, it's not an easy thing to do. So easy to do. And say it. But to really, truly, this takes practice, which is the whole way of cultivating joy, is practicing. Practicing whatever works for you to bring in that feeling of your heart opening and that spontaneous feeling of smile and joy and connection to all. Connection to all. Now, I'd like to give you a couple clues of things that you can do. We're going to do one right now. If you repeat this, probably have to look at this again and get it completely, although we'll do it 3 times right now. It will begin to shift the energy in you. So, repeat after me. I am one with an infinite amount of God's love filling my heart, mind, and spirit now. I am one with an infinite amount of God's love filling my heart, mind, and spirit now. Feel that. Let's do one more. I am one with an infinite amount of God's love filling my heart, mind, and spirit now. If that becomes a mantra for you, it will create a vibration that will shift energy in a very beautiful way for you. In a very beautiful way. Some of the other tricks that I use sometimes when monkey mind is going crazy and I'm caught up in the external world, I'll stop. I stop. And I start repeating a little different mantra. It's a very simple one. I choose love instead of this. I choose love instead of this. And as I say that, I say it from here, from my heart, not in my head. I want it rattling around in the head because it really won't happen if you do that. I focus on my heart and I say, I choose love instead of this. And I will repeat that until I feel whatever it is that was triggering me, whatever it is that was taking me off into a non-joyful moment, dissipate. These are the sort of tools that you can use. You deserve joy. We were born to manifest joy and to live a life of joy. This is what it's really all about. When they talk about being one with Christ, when they talk about be here now, and all the different ways and all the different philosophers and teachers that have talked about that, That's a way they're telling you to find that divine joy in you. I guarantee that as you do that, you'll see the external world change. Because, as someone once said, you'll see it when you believe it. And that's about believing everything in here, and you'll see the changes you desire in the external world. So, I think with that, I will leave you for today. I love you. Go forth and practice being joyful. Practice. Oh, it just fills me up. Practice feeling that in your heart today. Thank you.